Hello and good evening and welcome to my weekly 10 show, where tonight I'm going to be talking about how we often make breakthroughs following a breakdown. Okay, so before I go into that, I just want to point out that I've got a free offer at the moment, a free resource, and that's available on my website. And basically that's called Turning Obstacles into Stepping Stones. So it's a 3-step process and it's free, and all you have to do is stick your email address in the little box on my website and you'll receive that, and it will help you get from turning an obstacle into a stepping stone, so a problem into an opportunity basically. So tonight I want to really talk about how I found my turning point after I was released from prison, and when I'd already trained to become a coach and everything else. I had the skill set to be a coach, etc. However, I was faced with a block of some sort, a mental and emotional block, which was stopping me or preventing me doing what I want to do, which is become a professional coach and create a business. For whatever reason, I just couldn't break free of this mental block, and I was toiling with it for ages really, and I didn't really know what it was, and it was driving me potty, absolutely mental, because I knew what I wanted to do, I knew the direction that I wanted to go in, but for whatever reason I couldn't do so. And it's a long time, it took me a while to really understand why that was. And what it turned out to be, I found out, was that I'd not really dealt with all of the emotional baggage, all of the mental baggage, and my physical baggage, because all of the stuff I'd been through, the stress and everything else like that, had affected me physically. And all of that was keeping me feeling crap basically. My energy was low permanently, and I couldn't really start creating what I wanted to. There was always this barrier in front of me. I couldn't move forward as much as I wanted to, as much as I knew what I wanted to do. There was no way I could actually push myself forward. And it was last year, around Christmas time, around the anniversary of my mother's passing, when I hit a wall really. I hit this wall, this brick wall, and I just broke down. Not really a breakdown as such, but it was a mini breakdown. And it just sort of all came flooding out, all of the emotions, all the stress, all of the mental trauma. And I sort of had a moment of clarity where, well, it wasn't a moment of clarity, it was after about 2 weeks of crying and feeling crap and really like soul searching. Now I really realised what was going on, and it was just like everything that I'd been through over those past few years, which I basically blocked away, held down, emotions, my mental trauma, all of those things just came flooding out. So mentally, I was having trouble accepting myself, I was having trouble accepting my environment, I was having trouble accepting the people around me, and all of these other things. And emotionally, I'd buried all of those emotions to do with my losses and prison and all of the other crap deep down, so that I could get through it, so that I could actually cope with things and deal with things. And by doing that, what I did was block myself off from being able to move forward. And it wasn't until I got to that point, that last Christmas, when I had that sort of mini breakdown, hit a wall, that all of that stuff came out. And once that had happened, I suddenly, after about 2 weeks, had this moment of clarity, of vision, of feeling great basically. I felt free. I felt, for the first time in my years, it was probably my life, I felt free. And I felt clear of anything holding me back in life. And that was because I'd hit that wall and had a breakdown as such, and it led to a breakthrough. Now, where that's relevant to the people I'm talking to tonight, you, is that a lot of us go through situations in life where we don't really realise why we're not moving forward. We know we want to, but we don't know how to. And it's because we've got all of this stuff going on, which we don't really consciously recognise. It could be a mental blockage, it could be an emotional blockage, it could be a spiritual or a social blockage, it could be many different things going on at any time. But often it's not until we have this moment of bash, where we hit a wall or breakdown of such, where we do hit rock bottom and we just think, enough's enough, I can't go on like this anymore. And that's the sort of people who tend to come to me, because when I've then people assume that it's only people with problems who go to a coach. It really isn't. It's people who just want to be best versions of themselves. So my message really is, don't leave it to the point where you do hit rock bottom, because you can create what you want right now if you have the help and the knowledge of how to do that. And that's exactly what a coach does with clients. They help them understand how their thinking is creating their reality and release those blocks, release those energy blocks that are stopping us moving forward in life. So you don't have to wait until you hit a brick wall. You don't have to wait until you have a breakdown before you can move forward. But most people will. Most people will like carry on regardless and crack on through life, thinking that they will just somehow break free of these restraints. And you probably will at some point, but there's no reason why you have to wait all of that time for that point to come. So yes, you might have, like I did, a moment of clarity when you hit a wall, and then you just can't go on. And in a lot of cases, the clients I've been working with up until now have been through that. They've got to the point where they just can't carry on, whether it's desperate, they're so desperate they need help, or they feel suicidal, or they just can't cope anymore. They reach out and they ask for help. And that's why when I interview clients, the timing has to be right for them. Because sometimes the timing isn't. You might have the need, but the timing won't be, because you won't have reached that point yet. So if you are feeling like your life is just ambling along and you're not really living the life that you really want to, and things can change, but you just don't know how to change them, then it's a lot to do with the way you're approaching life. It's the way you're thinking. It's the way you're feeling. And your feelings are created by the way you're thinking. So what I do as a coach is I help people through my process, through my program, which is a 4.5 month long program. I help people create a mindset which works for you in any given situation, so that you're optimizing every area of your life, and that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, environmentally, socially, and physically, so that at any given moment in your life you are performing at your very best. You can control how you think, you can control how you feel, and you ultimately can control your actions. So if you want to create something in your life, something special, something good, something profound, then there's absolutely no reason why you can't. Your circumstances aren't what control you. It's what's in there that controls you, the way you see your life, the way you see yourself. And if you're struggling with things, I don't know what it could be, for instance with my situation, accepting myself, then I help people with that. Once you accept certain situations in your life, you free yourself up to move forward. So that's essentially what I do as a coach. I help people create the mindset that they really want. And I do that using a specific process over a period of time. And it's a very, very structured process, and it's scientifically proven to work. And it works for me. And it works for the clients I work for. So if you are in that position where you're not really at your best, and that's probably most of us to be fair, you're not really enjoying life the way you really want to, then ask yourself the question, why? Why are you allowing that to happen? And what are you waiting for to change it? What's going to change for you in order for you to start living your life the way you want? Because when you understand that, that's when you can make moves forward. And like I said, if you need to speak to somebody in order to understand how you can do that, then that's what I'm here for. You can get in touch with me via my website, or via my email, or on a DM on one of my social media sites. And a conversation doesn't cost anything. So have a think about that. And in the meantime, have a check out of my free resource on my website, Obstacles to Stepping Stones, because that's a basic insight into the sort of stuff you can learn and you can create if you really want to. You know, some people can just sit there and accept their situations and give up with it and say, well, this is my lot now. But really, is it? Do you really want to spend your whole life settling for something that you don't really want? I don't. So, you know, if you're interested in moving forward with your life and really creating something special with your life and becoming the very best version of yourself, then I would say get in touch with me and I'll have a little chat with you and see how we go. It might not be for you, it might well be for you, but conversation doesn't cost anything. So have a think about that, and in the meantime, check out my my free resource, because it might be worth looking at for you. And in the meantime, I will speak to you next time, and I hope that's helped somebody understand that, you know, we all go through these situations in life, and sometimes it does take a breakdown or hitting a wall of some sort before we actually free ourselves up from whatever we're going through. But the message I'm giving you is you don't have to wait that long to make a change to your life. You can do it now. You can do it when you're feeling okay. You know, you don't have to feel crap to make changes in your life. You can be feeling good, but just want to be better. So if that's what you want to do, you want to be the leader of your life and really understand how to lead your life from the inside out, that's what I help you do. So I'll speak to you all soon, and I hope you've enjoyed that tonight. So have a good weekend.